You ready? Yeah, you got me running, you got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And apologies for missing the call yesterday. I did watch the call, and I hope everyone got a lot out of it as well. And thanks to everyone that joined in on the Monday night live call as well. There were lots of trade ideas discussed and shared. So thanks to everyone that joined in on that as well. So before we do get into the currency call, big welcome to all the live members watching via the LCMS Traders Club. If you do want to get involved in that, make sure you visit the Jindal Thai website as well to find out more about what we do, and also to join in the club to get the live trade ideas and discussions via the European trading session and also the US session as well. So this is the daily currency call presented by Forex Trading Asia. We'll be discussing the euro today, but a quick introduction. We do go through the currency pairs every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. GMT +8. And we start the week off with Aussie and Kiwi on Mondays, Tuesday, the euro, that's the euro USD and the euro pound. We've got the pound analysis tomorrow for Wednesday, yen and gold for Thursday. And then on Friday, we've got oil, USD CAD, and we also have cryptocurrency too. So again, remember everyone, please feel free to ask questions if you do have any in regards to today's currency pairs or anything else in the economic calendar. And just before we do get started, I will share the risk disclaimer as well. So it's quite important to understand this, so I will make sure I read it out as well. Any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speakers. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Now, what we will do to start off with, Gimme and I were discussing, Bank of Japan did just come out with some news, but we're gonna leave it for now to discuss. It will be a Thursday discussion point to see how markets absorb things and also to get the translations out as well on that meeting. So I'll go straight into the US index. Now, so we didn't have the US equities trading last night. We had the bank holiday due to Martin Luther King Day, and pretty flat. So the daily candle was up a little bit, and the high here was from yesterday was 95.33. And we did see, well, frankly, markets were quite stable. We did discuss before the call started about the yen movements, and we are seeing a little bit of yen strength as well. So it's interesting with the US dollar. So if we have a look on the daily time frame, we can see that the 94.70 support level has been tested a couple of times recently, has held up. We've got resistance up here at 95.50. And what I want to do now is just get a bit of an understanding on what the catalysts are from an economic calendar perspective as well, just to put together a bit of a plan. So it's Tuesday today. We don't really have a lot. I was looking through this morning when I put out the morning market update video about an hour ago. There's not really that's grabbing my attention for today in particular, but a point to make would be to see how the equity markets open. Now in Australia, we're up a little bit, and it's been more the larger, bigger capitalized companies that are moving a little more. So we are seeing a little risk on in that sense. But if we just go down now, again, the pound tomorrow has got CPI, so definitely catch the currency call tomorrow to get a preview of that as well. And what we are looking at, again, you can see that for the US, it's building permits, housing starts, it's not really super strong price movements there. Unemployment claims, again, so really, but really what's been driving things is the ebb and flow on risk on, risk off sentiment as well. If there's no catalyst driving things, and we've seen, the US dollar break down a little bit, and really I'm leaning towards waiting to see what happens into tonight's session. I'm long still off that support level at 94.70, but I'm not long biased currently here. And I just want to point out one more thing as well. More of a longer term perspective is just on the US 2-year Treasury bond yield. So this is zooming out a little bit. So we're currently at just over 1%. We have really made a steady climb here, really with what we've been hearing about March being a key point for interest rates to what looks like interest rates are rising. And that's, we're seeing a real increase here in the bond yield. We've got 2018, we had that run up, and then obviously with the big stimulus to the economy, we saw it, drop in February 2020. We've really seen it sideways for some time, and it's just started to pick up really in August or even a little bit earlier, and we've seen it continue high. So I'm keeping my eye on that. Really up here, 1.47 or so, maybe even 1.37. So that's, if it can break there, that could really start getting interesting, which was sort of where we were before COVID really hit the economy. So just paying attention to that as a bit of a barometer, just on the sensitivities to the urgency of interest rates as well, and just watching the US dollar as well. But from a shorter term perspective, a pullback to 95 would be what I would be looking for, instead of chasing a breakout, honestly, just with the weakness we've recently been seeing. So really sort of short biased for today, and probably a little bit into this week, just with the lack of a catalyst for the US economy as well. But those are my thoughts there, guys. So we do have the Euro USD and the Euro Pound to discuss now with Gim Hong here, currency strategist at LCMS Traders. So I'll pass it on to you now, Gimmy.
All right, thanks, Scott. Okay, Euro USD and Euro Pound. Why not let's just start off with the economic calendar, okay? And let's see what news are there, pertaining to Euro and Pound, okay? So today at 1500 GMT plus 8, the UK employment figures will be released, okay? So there may be some movements, okay? Like I was covering the economic calendars with the Traders Club members last night. Claimant count change will be something that we want to pay attention to, okay? Any further decline in claimant count change will be favorable to the British pound, all right? Average earnings index, it's a slight, I would say, slight slowdown, okay, in the increase of the average earnings, all right? But this is not going to be too big of an impact as long as the figure stays around 4.0. And then unemployment rate is expected to remain unchanged. It is probably unlikely going to drop any further, like by a big amount, okay? Because 4.2 is pretty much the close to the pre-pandemic level of unemployment rate in the UK. So unless there's a big, there's a big change in the jobs market or something like that. Otherwise, unemployment rate will probably remain around that level, okay? And then looking down, we have the UK CPI inflation, okay, which is something that I'll be paying a lot of attention to, all right, on Wednesday, tomorrow, okay. It is expected to inch further, okay, from the previous data release of 5.1% to 5.2%. Okay, keep in mind that inflation in UK is already at its 10-year high, or maybe even higher already, all right? So any more, any higher it can go, you will definitely pressure the Bank of England to carry out more monetary policy changes, i.e. increase interest rates, okay? So pay attention to that as well. And then Governor Bailey will be testifying, okay, tomorrow evening or tomorrow night at 22:15 GMT plus 8, okay? He's going to be testifying on the BOE's financial stability report. Normally, I wouldn't say there's much movements, coming in from this whole financial stability report testing money, all right? But who knows what Bailey's going to be talking about, and he may actually cover a little bit of monetary policy related stuff, okay? I mean, after all, it's all interlinked with financial stability in England, right? So, in the UK, okay? So Governor Bailey testifying, pay attention to it as well. And then coming on to Thursday, we have the Eurozone final CPI data release, okay? It's unlikely going to cause a big impact on the euro, okay, on the movements of euro, because this is the final release, okay? look, previous data was 5.0, right now they're expecting 5.0, okay? Previous meaning the preliminary release of the data, okay? And then for the core CPI, previous, which is the preliminary release, was 2.6. The final release is expected to be 2.6 as well, okay? Basically, no change is expected to come in, you know, from the final data release, the final tabulation of the data, okay? Nonetheless, I will still pay attention to it, okay, because inflation is the big thing this time around for all central banks, okay, because it will really indicate if central bankers should actually carry out more hikes, interest rate hikes, or maybe carry forward its timeline, okay, of a rate hike. So unless, okay, if it turns out to be unchanged, or you know, maybe like a plus minus 0.1% kind of thing, kind of change, okay, then unlikely there's going to be a big impact on euro, okay. However, if the final data release for some reason, okay, due to tabulation error or ambiguity of data and things like that, if the figure actually turns out to deviate away from, you know, to deviate a lot from the forecasted figure, then we may actually be seeing a movement in euro, okay, and that may actually, yeah, you know, have an impact on the ECB's decision of monetary policy. All right, so please pay attention to this 1800 GMT plus 8 data released on Thursday. Okay, the Eurozone final CPI year over year. And then at 2030 GMT plus 8, there's the ECB's monetary policy meeting minutes release. Okay, at the moment, I don't expect any surprises coming from the minutes. All right, but of course, if you know, if there's going to be any surprises and things like that, you know, I'll cover it again probably next Tuesday. Okay, when I go through the euro and pound pairs again. All right. But do pay attention to it, okay? Because just like the FOMC meeting minutes, we weren't expecting any surprises, okay? But then they actually told us that the members of the central bank, they were actually discussing on unloading of bonds back in the December's meeting, which wasn't, you know, Paul did not mention anything about that during the press conference. Okay, it wasn't indicated in the interest rate statement. So it's a surprise, you know, it came out in the minutes, right? So anything can happen, but at the moment, I just cannot figure out anything that, you know, that can move the euro in terms of surprise coming in from the minutes, all right? And then Friday, there's the UK retail sales data, unlikely going to cause too big of an impact as well, all right? Where is this again? 20 days. So this is for the month of December, okay? And then 2030 GMT plus 8, ECB President Christine Lagarde will be speaking, okay, on global economic outlook at the World Economic Forum, okay? Unlikely she's going to be talking about the European Central Bank's monetary policy, because this is the topic on global economic outlook, okay? It's probably going to share a bit about Omicron, you know, how it's going to impact the overall economy, you know, outlook of this world, all right? But nonetheless, still pay attention to it, because I don't know, her view may actually cause some impact as well, all right? And then that's the end for Friday. And then next Monday, okay, is something that is a day that you guys want to pay more attention to, because of the series of flash PMI data to be released from the Eurozone and UK, okay? At the moment, okay, forecasted figures are not, you know, they haven't released the forecasted figures as of now, okay? But we do see that the, okay, normally I will pay more attention to Eurozone as a whole, okay? But if you look at the Germany's, German's flash CPI data, German's flash services PMI data, okay? Previous month, okay, back in, wait, let me see, this is for the month of December, okay? Back in November, there was actually a contraction in the services sector, okay, 48.7. And this time around, I'm not sure how much they're going to release. I mean, they are forecasting it to be, okay? But be sure to pay attention to it, because there is likely going to be movements in euro and maybe even in pound when the flash services and manufacturing PMI data for the UK is being released. okay, at 17:30. So yeah, it's going to be quite a busy afternoon, I would say, for next Monday. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the economic calendar for Eurozone and the UK. All right, then heading over to the chart right now. Okay, starting off with the euro dollar. Now, at the moment, okay, looking at this daily chart, all right, it's actually trying to bounce off my support zone of 1.14. Okay, at the moment, I won't look to sell. Okay, overall, yes, on a daily chart, it's a downtrend. Okay, but if we were to go over to 4-hour time frame, which is what's being covered during currency call, okay, we see that it's I would say the recent trend, okay, is more like an uptrend, all right? And then recently, last week, it actually came down to my support of 1.14, and at the moment, it's trying to bounce off the 1.14 as well, all right? So I'm not looking for selling opportunities unless there is a strong fundamental reasons, okay, either coming in from Eurozone or coming in from the United States, okay? And also the second condition must be that euro dollar has broken my support of 1.14, okay? Hence, I will only be looking for buying opportunities at 1.144, which is around here, all right? And then my potential take profit level would be at 1.164, which is around here. Okay, just before my resistance zone of 1.167. Okay, that is my take profit, which is 200 pips. Okay, and then my stop loss level will be at 1.137, which is below my support level. All right, 70 pips. So this trade idea would be around like a close to 1:3 risk reward ratio. All right. Nonetheless, I guess most of you can actually expect what I'm going to say next. Okay, try to keep your trades short term for euro dollar and also for euro pound. All right, because of the series of what do you call that, economic data releases coming in. Okay, maybe not for Tuesday for the euro dollar, but on Wednesday or maybe not for Wednesday. Okay, but from Thursday onward, there's going to be like ECB monetary policy minutes release, the final release of the CPI, and then on Friday there's Christine Lagarde's speech and things like that. Okay, so you guys can actually set your TP at 200 pips. Okay, but come back to the chart every now and then on Wednesday and on Thursday. Okay, so any questions on euro dollar? No questions at the moment. Okay, don't worry about the price levels. All right, I'll be pasting the price levels figures into Traders Club chat once the call ends later on. All right, so if there's no question on euro dollar, let me move over to euro pound. Okay, I will also be covering euro pound tomorrow because we're talking about pound. Okay, so we just cannot move away from euro pound. All right, euro pound on a daily time frame. Okay, it's hovering, I would say, since since early this year, 5th of Jan or something like that. All right, so let's just do a quick measurement of how much it has already been. Wow, it's pretty much 50 pips. Okay, since the start of this year, euro pound has been hovering around 50 pips, about 48.5 pips as indicated over here. Okay, so it's actually pretty I would say pretty tight of a zone to actually for euro pound to be moving. Okay, and usually euro pound it doesn't move that much, but because of this consolidation, I would say it is fair game to actually look for both buying and selling opportunities. But I have a resistance zone over here at 0.84. Okay, and buying is definitely not something that I'll be looking for right now. Okay, because I'll be buying into my resistance zone and the the amount of potential profits that I can have, okay, is pretty low. So if I would like to buy euro pound, I would have to wait for my resistance zone of 0.84 to be broken, okay, before looking for buying opportunities. So at the moment, I will only be looking for selling opportunities, okay. So going down to H4, okay, let me just indicate my entry level, 0.832, okay. As you guys can see, this 0.832 level is actually below the this range that it has been carrying out since 4th of Jan or 5th of Jan over here. Okay, just draw this rectangle over here to indicate the yeah. So you guys can see my entry level, my sell entry level will only take place once euro pound, only if euro pound were to break out of this red rectangle, this red range over here. Okay, so 0.832 will be my entry level. Okay, and then my potential take profit, okay, which is going to be quite wide, I would say, 0.812 over here. All right, just before my support zone of 0.808. Okay, and then my stop loss level would be at 0.843 above my resistance of 0.84. Okay, so as you can see over here, take profit is 200 pips, stop loss is 110 pips. Okay, pretty much close to like a 1:2 risk reward, okay, ratio. But then, like I mentioned just now, okay, if this trade were to trigger, keep it short term as well. Okay, now we are not only dealing with euro, okay, euro pound, we are also dealing with pound as well. All right, so there's the pound CPI coming in. When is it again? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow, Wednesday. All right, and then Bailey speaking as well. So we will just want to keep our trade short term. Although personally, I don't think euro pound is going to move that much. Okay, which is more of a reason why that, you know, we all should actually keep our euro pound trade short term in a scenario whereby we were to take it up. All right, unless, okay, unless there's some major or some strong deviation away from the CPI, the forecasted CPI data, okay, that's going to be released from both sides of the country, from both countries, okay, or any updates from Bank of England or the European Central Bank, which I don't think we'll be hearing from them anytime soon, maybe at least 2 weeks down the road, okay? So with that, okay, that's the trade idea for euro pound. Any questions for the euro pound trade idea? Okay, no questions. So you guys know the drill. If you guys have any questions on this, trade ideas, on any fundamentals, and actually, yes, although I'll be covering the Bank of Japan, what happens, you know, during the Bank of Japan just earlier today at 10:45 GMT +8 on Thursday. Okay, but Traders Club members, because you guys are in the club, because I'm in the club, you know, because I'm always by your side, okay, not 24 hours, but most of the time, I'll be sharing with you guys, you know, firsthand, all right, what actually went down on Bank of Japan. And if you guys were to look at the chart, yen pairs are like moving, like, you know, for the first time, I don't know, since don't know how long, whenever it comes to like Bank of Japan monetary policy, okay? And yeah, I'll be sharing with you guys in the club. And then if there's no any other questions, I will hand it over to Scott for now.
All right, thanks for that, Gimme. And guys, just remember to stand by. Gim will share those trade ideas. I did as well, but he'll also include the levels in that table too. And make sure you do check out last night's call. It is uploaded in the trading floor chat in the LCMS Traders Club EcoFin platform. And thanks again for joining us. Hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow for the pound analysis. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.